Have you ever stopped and asked yourself, am I bathing too much or not enough? It sounds like a strange question, doesn't it? We've all been raised to believe that daily showers are part of good hygiene. But once we pass 70, our bodies and our skin don't quite work the way they used to. And the truth is, what doctors are saying about bathing after 70 might surprise you. Some of it even shocked me. Let me tell you what I've learned. For most of my life, I was a shower every morning kind of person. I'd wake up, jump in the shower, and start my day fresh. Even after retiring, I kept that habit. Sometimes even twice a day in the summer. But somewhere around my mid-70s, I began to notice a few things. My skin became dry and itchy, no matter how much lotion I used. I get chills right after toweling off, and the bathroom floor, no matter how careful I was, started feeling less safe under my feet. At first, I thought I was just getting older, but during a routine appointment, my doctor asked me something I never expected. How often do you bathe? When I said, every day like always, she leaned in gently and said, that might be part of the problem. I still remember so clearly the feeling of stepping into the bathroom every morning. The warm water running down my back, washing away the chill night, bringing that comforting sense of calm and clarity, almost like a gentle wake-up call for the day ahead. Bathing, for me, was never just about staying clean. It was part of how I cared for myself. A routine that made me feel refreshed, renewed, like I was starting over, even just a little bit, every day. That habit stayed with me for decades. Whether I was working full-time or enjoying retirement, whether it was the heat of summer or the chill of winter, I kept that rhythm going. It became such a natural part of life. In fact, I used to feel a little proud of it. Proud that I was neat, well-kept, that I never let myself smell or feel greasy. We're older now, I'd say to myself, and we've got to keep up our dignity. But over time, I started noticing some changes, subtle ones at first. My skin began feeling drier, especially around my shins and arms. Even after applying lotion, I'd still find patches of flaky, irritated skin. Some days, after a shower, I'd step out feeling chilled to the bone, even though it wasn't cold in the house. At first, I brushed it off, but then it kept happening more and more often. I also began feeling oddly tired after showering, especially if I bathed in the late afternoon or evening. There were days I'd finish my shower, dry off, and suddenly feel weak, even a little short of breath. I'd have to lie down just to settle my heart. Still, I didn't think much of it. I'm just getting older, I told myself. A shower couldn't be the problem. Then one day, during a routine checkup, my doctor asked about my daily habits. I told him with a bit of pride that I showered every morning like clockwork. But instead of nodding, he tilted his head slightly and said, after 70, your skin is thinner, your oil glands slow down, and your body's ability to regulate temperature weakens. Daily showers, especially with hot water, can actually do more harm than good. They can dry out your skin, raise your risk for infection, and cause your body to lose heat too quickly. I sat there quietly for a moment, realizing that what I thought was a good habit might now be doing more harm than I ever imagined. From that day on, I made some small changes. I began showering every other day instead of daily. I used warm, not hot, water. On days I didn't bathe, I'd gently wipe down with a warm, damp cloth, focusing on areas that needed it most. But the biggest shift wasn't just physical, it was mental. I started paying attention to what my body actually needed, not just what I was used to doing. When we're younger, we live by habits. But after 70, it's time to live by awareness. Sometimes, the smallest adjustment, a little less heat, a little less water, a little more care, can make all the difference. And learning to listen to your body, that just might be the most important self-care of all. When we're young, we often believe that the more we shower, the cleaner we are. And the cleaner we are, the healthier we'll be. And for a younger, stronger body, with thicker skin and active oil glands, showering every day, even twice a day, really is an issue. But once you pass 60, especially after 70, things start to change. I didn't believe it at first. I continued with my usual routine, stepping into the shower every day, scrubbing thoroughly, washing my hair every time, and always using hot water to feel comfortable. It was a part of my day, something that made me feel refreshed and ready. But then I started noticing that my shins were itchy. On some days, I saw tiny red bumps, and my skin felt rough, like sandpaper. I blamed it on the weather, thinking maybe the air was too dry. So I applied lotion, changed my soap, even switched to a new towel. But the symptoms didn't go away. Eventually, my doctor explained what was really going on. He told me that showering too often, especially with hot water and strong soap, can strip the skin of its natural oils. These oils form a protective barrier that helps lock in moisture, keep out bacteria, and shield the body from external irritants. Once that barrier is worn away too frequently, the skin can no longer retain moisture. The result? Dryness, itching, cracks, and more importantly, a higher risk of infection through tiny breaks in the skin we can't even see. He also mentioned that washing your hair daily can cause damage to the scalp and hair. As we age, our bodies naturally produce less oil, including on our scalp. Washing too frequently dries out the hair even more, making it brittle, prone to breakage, and thinner over time. Another concern? The risk of losing body heat after showering, especially in the early morning or late at night. Older adults often have a harder time regulating body temperature. Stepping from a hot shower into cooler air or sitting with wet hair in a breezy room can lead to a sudden drop in blood pressure, dizziness, or even falls. Many seniors end up in an emergency room due to complications after bathing the wrong way. There's one more issue most people don't think about. Showering too often can also disrupt the skin's natural immune system. Our skin hosts billions of good bacteria that form a kind of invisible armor, helping us fend off harmful germs. Using antibacterial soaps or bathing too frequently can wipe out those helpful organisms, leaving us more vulnerable, not less. So if you've been showering every single day out of habit, I gently encourage you to pause and observe how your body feels. Is your skin drier than before? Do you notice more redness or irritation? Do you feel chilled or shaky after bathing? If so, it might be time to reconsider how often and how you bathe. Bathing itself isn't the problem, but bathing too often the wrong way or without considering your age and skin health, that's a different story. After 70, what your body needs most isn't perfect cleanliness, it's protection. Gentle, thoughtful, and mindful care. After my regular checkup, the doctor looked over my lab results and listened to me talk about my daily hygiene routine. He didn't seem surprised. He just smiled gently and said in a calm voice, "After 70, not every habit we've kept since we were young still works for our bodies." I was a little taken aback. In my mind, staying clean was always a good thing. The more often you shower, the better, right? But then he kindly explained that once you're past 70, your skin becomes thinner, your oil glands slow down, and your immune system isn't as strong as it used to be. If you take hot showers every day, use strong soaps, and scrub your body the way you did when you were younger, you might actually be stripping away the natural protective layer on your skin. That thin layer of natural oils may seem small, but it plays an important role. It helps your skin stay hydrated, protects against bacteria, and shields you from cracking or infections. When it gets washed away too often, the skin can't replenish itself. That's when dryness, flaking, rashes, or that constant itchy feeling can set in, and we often don't even realize why. He told me that, in reality, most older adults don't need to shower their whole bodies every single day. Unless you're sweating heavily or working in dirty environments, showering 2 to 3 times a week is usually enough. Areas like the underarms, groin, feet, and private parts should still be cleaned daily, of course. But that doesn't mean you need to stand under a hot shower for a long time or use soap all over every time. He especially warned against using water that's too hot. Even though it feels comforting, hot water can cause blood vessels to dilate, which may lead to a sudden drop in blood pressure after bathing. That can leave you feeling dizzy, weak, or even cause a fall, something far too common in older adults. The doctor also advised me to switch the soap I was using. He said to avoid soaps with strong fragrances or heavy foaming agents. Instead, look for gentle cleansers with neutral pH, no alcohol, and no added perfumes. The milder, the better. And right after showering, when your skin is still slightly damp, apply a moisturizing lotion, especially on your arms, legs, and back, to lock in moisture and help prevent cracking and irritation. Finally, he stressed the importance of bathroom safety. Use non-slip mats. Install grab bars near the shower or tub. Make sure there's good lighting. Shower during warmer parts of the day. And avoid early mornings or late nights when the temperature drops. And if your health isn't the best, don't hesitate to ask a family member to be nearby or at least check in on you while you bathe, just in case something unexpected happens. After that conversation, I let go of my old belief that you have a shower every day. I began adjusting my routine. I started showering every other day, using only warm water, and on non-shower days, I would gently wipe myself down to stay fresh. And after just a short while, I noticed a difference. My skin wasn't as dry, I didn't itch as much at night, and I didn't feel tired after bathing like I used to. I realized that taking care of your body isn't always about doing more. It's about knowing when to do less. Sometimes, doing a little less can actually be the best form of self-care. And I hope if you're around my age, you'll listen to your body too. If your skin is dry, if you feel chilled after a shower or just unusually tired, maybe it's time to rethink how often you bathe. Sometimes, the best thing we can do for ourselves is to gently adjust, and our bodies will thank us for it. After my conversation with the doctor, I began digging deeper into the topic of bathing as we age. And what surprised me the most was this: there's no single one-size-fits-all rule when it comes to hygiene in older adults. Every body is different, depending on your health, how active you are, the weather, and any medical conditions you may have. But there was one simple principle the doctor shared that really stuck with me. Don't bathe out of habit. Bathe based on what your body needs. When we're younger, showering every day is a given, even expected. But after age 70, our skin doesn't have the same natural defenses it once did. If you continue to bathe your whole body every single day, especially using hot water and harsh soap, you may actually be wearing down your body's last line of defense, your skin. I used to believe that if I didn't shower every day, I wasn't truly clean. But then I learned there are plenty of ways to stay fresh and hygienic without having to soak yourself daily. In fact, medical experts say that for people over 70, full-body bathing 2 to 3 times a week is usually enough, especially if you aren't sweating much, working outdoors, or exposed to dirt. On the days you don't shower, it's still important to do a quick cleanup with a warm, damp washcloth. Focus on key areas: the face, neck, underarms, groin, feet, and private areas. These are the spots where sweat and bacteria can build up and cause odor or discomfort. This light daily cleaning helps keep you fresh without drying out your skin, and you'll still feel light, clean, and comfortable. Also, if the weather is cold, or if you're recovering from illness, there's absolutely no harm in skipping a shower for a day or two. In fact, during these times, staying warm and safe should come before staying squeaky clean. On the flip side, in hot and humid summer months, if you do need to bathe daily, try to keep showers short, use lukewarm or cool water, and always moisturize afterward. One of the most valuable things I learned is that instead of sticking to a rigid schedule, it's better to tune into your body. If your skin is dry and flaky, maybe it's time to cut back on how often you bathe. If you're sweating more than usual or doing physical activity, go ahead and bathe more, just don't overdo it with soap, especially all over your body. A healthy habit doesn't mean doing more. It means doing what's right for you at the right time in the right way. After 70, every form of self-care needs to be gentler, more thoughtful, and more personalized. Even something as routine as bathing deserves to be reconsidered with fresh eyes, through the lens of understanding and self-kindness. Because at this age, it's not just about being clean. It's about being safe, comfortable, and in tune with what your body is asking for. I have an old friend named Mr. Try. We met back when we were both working in a government office. Now, it's been nearly a decade since we retired. Every week, the two of us meet for morning tea, chatting about everything from family to health to the little things in life. But there's one small story he told me that stuck with me, because it made both of us take a closer look at ourselves. Mr. Try has always been meticulous, especially when it comes to hygiene and eating habits. For decades, he bathed every single day, rain or shine, hot or cold. Even when he wasn't feeling well, he insisted on taking a shower before going to bed because he said it made him feel clean and refreshed. He even washed his hair daily, scrubbed thoroughly with scented soap, and never skipped a beat. I might be old, he used to say, but that doesn't mean I have to be dirty. But over time, he began to experience some issues, frequent colds, constant itching, and once he nearly slipped in the bathroom during a night shower. I asked him about it once, and he just chuckled, "It's just old age, I guess." But his wife was concerned and urged him to see a doctor. After a checkup, the doctor gave him some detailed advice about adjusting his bathing habits to suit his age. At first, Mr. Try said he didn't want to listen. "I've done it this way my whole life, and I've been fine," he thought. But eventually, he decided to give it a try. Instead of showering daily, he started bathing every other day, sometimes every 2 days. On the days he didn't shower, he used a warm, damp towel to wipe down, especially under the arms, behind the knees, around the groin, and on his back and feet. He also switched to a gentle, unscented soap with low lather. Most importantly, he stopped washing his hair every day, cutting back to just once or twice a week. After just 2 or 3 weeks, he told me, "You know what? My skin doesn't feel dry and irritated anymore. I sleep better at night, and I don't feel chilled or worn out after bathing." He said it with such genuine relief, not because he had done something major, but because he had finally started listening to what his body was telling him. Mr. Try's story made me reflect on myself too. There are so many habits we hold on to simply because they've been with us for so long. We assume they're right just because they've always worked. But what was right for us at one stage in life may not be right forever. And if we don't adjust those habits as our bodies change, they can slowly become a burden instead of a benefit. Now, whenever we get together, the two of us old guys laugh about the little things, like our shower routines, dry skin, or how often we wash our hair. But behind the laughter is something deeper. Aging isn't about stubbornly holding on to the past. It's about learning how to live more gently, understanding yourself more clearly, and taking care of yourself like you would an old friend. So if you've been holding on to a daily shower routine just because that's the way I've always done it, I hope you'll take a moment to check in with your body. Like Mr. Try, you might just find that a small change brings a big sense of relief and a new kind of peace. I remember calling my sister after that doctor visit. She's a year older than me, and I said, "Did you know we don't have to shower every day anymore?" She laughed and said, "About time someone told us. My elbows have been dry for a decade." We both chuckled, but underneath that laughter was something real, a realization that aging means rethinking the things we've done our whole lives. Here's what I've come to believe. After 70, bathing isn't just about hygiene. It's about protecting your skin, your joints, your safety, and your peace of mind. Use lukewarm water instead of hot. Switch to gentle, fragrance-free soap. Moisturize right after drying off. And don't feel guilty if you're not showering every single day. That's not neglect, that's wisdom. Your body changes. Your routine should too. If this video gave you something to think about, please give a thumbs up. It helps more people like you find content that actually matters. And tell me in the comments, have you or a loved one changed your bathing routine as you've gotten older? I'd love to hear your experience. And don't forget to subscribe, because every week we share heartfelt, practical tips to help you live stronger, safer, and more joyfully in the years ahead. Take care of yourself. And remember, sometimes the gentlest routines are the most powerful.